Hello, and thanks so much for tuning in to Clear Into Balance. My name is Jamie, and on this channel, I remind you that you are a powerful spirit having this human experience. Therefore, you have the potential to create or change anything you want. Today is a very important topic, and I'm sitting here, I'm glazing some clay jewelry that I'm working on right now, and I can't help but get on here and talk about this because I feel like I've cracked a code in a lot of ways by doing this in my own life, and it's tuning out the outside noise. The outside, there's a big play going on. Think of it like this. There's a big distracting play going on. And what it's trying to do is to elicit a reaction from you. It's to elicit fear. It's to elicit division. It's to elicit all these negative emotions within you so that you feed it, because the powers that be know how powerful our energy is, okay? And if you're here, you probably already know that our thoughts create our reality, our energy creates, and that we are very powerful spirits. And we create what we focus on. And when we give our focus to the outside stage, the world stage, where they're trying to elicit these fear responses and negative energy within you, we're essentially helping them to create the world that they want to create. So I tuned things out many years ago for quite a while when my son was a newborn. And that was because I was going through so many stressful things that I really couldn't take more stress. And I remember thinking at the time, it's like when I would watch news, it would just make me more stressed out. And it's not like I could do anything about what they were saying happened or was happening, right? But I would feel this response in my body, wanting to help, wanting to change things and all of this. What I have come to learn is that we can't change by focusing on what they want us to focus on. We can't change any of that by eliciting reactions that are negative within ourselves. And we're definitely not making any positive change by listening to the outside play that wants us to hate each other and be divided. When we are divided, we are easier to control. That is the bottom line 100%. And when you step back and you view things from a bigger, broader perspective, as the spirit having this human experience, you realize, look, we are all here in our own unique bodies to have our own unique experiences and to walk away with different perspectives, different experiences to expand the collective consciousness. We're not meant to all be the same. But at the same time, at our core, we all are the same. We're all just a spirit having this human experience. We're here for a blip of time. No one or nothing outside of you needs to impact your experience, period. And the only way that it does is by you allowing it. Now, years ago when I cut out the news because life was stressful, I ended up picking it back up later on once life kind of turned around, but I always had this bleeding heart, just feeling so much for other people, situations in the world, all of this. I'm not saying that's a bad thing to care, but I think the whole bleeding heart thing of seeing everything and having it create sadness in us, for instance, is not positive, because when you realize the energy that creates what you wouldn't let yourself sit in those negative emotions for long. And what I've come to realize is that the news, be it the programming on your television or the truthers who are aware of the larger agenda at play that are pointing out that aspect of things, it's all the same. It's all negative because it's all focusing on the same topics. It's all focusing on the outside. Now, for quite some time now, I'm not even sure exactly the time frame. It's been years since I've focused my attention to the outside. And probably back in, I'd say summer 22, when I completely deleted all of my social media that I had, that's when it started, and I stopped tuning into any of it. And some people will say oh, that's such a privileged thing. Bullshit. No, it's not. It's not anything about privilege or not caring about other people or anything like that. It's because I have the awareness of how those sources of information affect me and my energy. And I understand the value and the incredible importance of maintaining my own unique frequency and my own energy if I want to create the life that I want, which is exactly what I want to do. I don't want to create what they're putting out to create. No, I want to create what I want to create for the betterment of me, for the betterment of my family lines, for the betterment of my family, which is in turn for the betterment of all of humanity and the benefit of our collective consciousness. Because when we're living at that level, we're impacting everything and everyone around us in a positive way. And I know that if you're here, you already probably have some knowing of this, or you feel it, or you're feeling like you want to tune things out and then people around you are making you feel bad for that. I just want to be the voice that tells you, tune it all out now. You have the choice on what you focus on. I don't have a TV. I don't own a TV. I love it. I don't really watch much. Actually, I create more this way. And that's what I'm meant to be doing, is creating. That's what makes me happy. Therefore, that's what allows me to create, to manifest exactly what I want to manifest. And what I've come to find also is that all of that is just a distraction. It's a distraction from us realizing our own power as spirits having this human experience who can create anything we put our energy towards, our focus towards. It's also a distraction from our own inner work. So in my journey, I've found that I have plenty, and I mean I've had plenty to clear in this life, limiting beliefs, old emotions, old repeating patterns from the past, from past lives, my family lines, all of these things, right? By tuning out the outside and the theatrical stage of negativity, I've essentially been able to quiet all of that, sit with myself, get real with myself, and pick up on the subtle messages and in my reality that my spirit is using to get my attention. My spirit speaks to me in all sorts of ways, not through a voice in my head, but through my feelings, through my intuitive knowing, and through other people, through sometimes YouTube videos. It'll confirm things I already know that way, and it has pointed out patterns and issues that I need to look at and clear in order to move on this path and get the dream life that I'm envisioning for myself. Your spirit can't speak to you as easily when you're so distracted by everything else in the outside world, by what everybody else is doing, by what the governments are doing, by whoever, it doesn't even matter. Anything that's causing you to have a negative emotion within your body that has nothing to do with you in your own life, in your own personal life, is just a distraction, keeping you from really honing your own energy, really feeling into what's going on with you specifically, and allowing you to get real with yourself so that you can clear it, to change it for your future. As I've done this, I can't even fully express in words the changes that I've experienced. For one, tuning all of that out has given me such a bigger sense of inner peace, contentment. I've had just wells of creativity open up within me, and I've gotten all these creative ideas of things to do, including things that I'd never done before, like make these feather earrings. I couldn't find ones I like, so I made them myself. This necklace, it's made of clay. I had the idea, never hand built with clay before, found a studio that would let me do it, and did it. I'm telling you, when you tune out the outside world, you give way for your spirit, which is communicating with you through your intuition. It's the dreams that you have for yourself. It's the excitement that you feel when you get an idea. It's the creative nudges that you're having. All of that is spirit. Spirit is inspiring. Spirit is always nudging us towards our highest good. And sometimes that nudging is towards even people that will show us things about ourselves. I've had that happen so many times, and I think I've spoken about it in another video slightly about how people will flow in and out of my life and will show me things about myself that I'll then take to a holographic kinetic session and clear. And it'll be like a priority issue that was really affecting me in bigger ways than I could have ever known. And then that person will just flow back out. When we realize what this reality really is and who we really are as a spirit, and when we realize the power of our own spirit, we can get more clear in what we want. We can get more clear in the emotions we want to feel, and therefore we need to be more clear with what we're letting into our reality. If you're listening to music that is really anxiety causing, pay attention to that. Why are you listening to that? If you have issues with anxiety and all the music that you listen to is like yelling these negative lyrics, it's time to start paying attention to that. It's time to start shifting, start listening to other things. When I was a kid, I really liked, this plant keeps hitting the wall. When I was a kid, I really liked scary movies. Okay, I grew up with them, but I had nightmares all through my childhood. And now with what I know, I would have stopped watching them. But no one was saying like, hey, you're having all these nightmares. Let's stop watching the scary movies. I was just a kid, and it was just like, I don't know why I like that. Actually, I do know. There was interference in my field that was wanting me to feel negative because it was feeding them. But now with my awareness and just how I am as a person, I can't even watch that stuff. It's too disturbing for me. So I don't watch it. I don't watch things that are scary. Why in this world would I want to elicit fear in myself? Isn't there enough going on that you could tune into if you wanted to have that feeling? Is that really what your primary emotion that you want to feel day to day is? Start thinking about these things. What are you tuning into? What programming are you watching? What things are you giving your attention to that aren't really helping you? I'm telling you, from my own experience, we each have enough of our own inner work in this life, our own things to become aware of. The last thing that we need are distractions from the outside, causing us to be scared, causing us to be divided from other humans, causing us to be distracted from getting real with ourselves and getting down to the root cause of our issues. I highly, highly recommend holographic kinetics as a way to clear things, repeating patterns. If you have been on this path for a while and you just keep wondering why things aren't changing or why you can't seem to create what you want in your life, things keep getting thwarted. I had this come up in my session this week specifically, and when we have limiting beliefs locked in at the spirit level, our beliefs override our spirit's ability to change our reality. That's why it's so important to actually clear these things versus just become aware of them and move on. Awareness doesn't change the past. Awareness only makes us aware so that we can go and clear these things. And you can start telling your spirit what you want to change, what you want in your life, what you want it to help you create. And it'll start guiding you to things that will help you do that. And if you're here watching this video and you've stayed this long, your spirit's trying to get your attention. I found a key to clear things from the past that has then let me move forward and allowed my spirit to start working for me to free it up so it's not held back by my limiting beliefs, so that it can create the reality that I have in my head, that I'm envisioning for myself, my dream life. So you didn't find this by chance. Nobody finds holographic kinetics by chance. Your spirit will link you up with people who are aware of these things so that you can change. And yeah, stop feeling bad about tuning out the news. If you're someone who doesn't watch it because you understand what I'm talking about, stop allowing other people to make you feel bad for that. There is no need to feel bad for tuning out the negativity. And, you know, I was in the pottery studio like last week or the week before, and there were people talking about how you know, their neighbors had some political signs in their yard that they didn't like. And so when the neighbor would want to pet their dog, they kind of like cringed and pulled back. And I said really point blankly, if the outside is causing you to hate people, that's exactly what they want. You're falling in line with exactly what the system wants you to do, is to hate other people and to be divided. Because when we're divided, we're easily controlled. You know what they said? You're right. We know this. Our spirit knows this, okay? I only speak to people's spirits. That's my intention. Our spirits know this. So anything that's pushing you away from that knowing, anything that's distracting you from your own inner work, from creating your own vision, from just fully focusing on your vision until it's in your reality, we have to believe it until we see it. You have to be consistent with your vision and believe it until you see it, and hold on to that your spirit can make anything happen to line up what you're envisioning for yourself. It's just a matter of staying consistent and focusing on what you want. Stop focusing on what you don't want in the world. Stop focusing on what you don't want in your life. Focus on best case scenarios. Focus only on the exact outcome that you want. And I've had this happen before. I bought a car and I didn't take it to the mechanic right away. I took it a few days later. What ended up happening was there was hardly any oil in the car. And they had said they had changed the oil when they got it. The only oil in there was dirty. So my mechanic's like, it's probably leaking oil if they really did change it. Or they didn't change it, or they forgot, or something happened. So at any rate, I called them and I was like, hey, this is what the mechanic's saying. Or I went there actually, and I was like, this is what the mechanic's saying. Like, I'm not happy with this. You guys said the oil was changed. They're like, oh, the person that knows about this will be in on Monday. This was like a Friday. Come back. Luckily, the mechanic added oil for me, by the way. But so Monday morning, guess what happened? All between Friday and Monday, I focused only on what I wanted. I told my spirit, look, I either want a full refund for this car and to get all my money back that I just paid because I bought it in cash, or I want it to be in better shape than I thought, and like it's going to be a reliable car without issues. One way or the other, I want it to get fixed. I did not entertain, even though it came to my mind, that they could try to screw me over and all of these things and whatever, right? I pushed that out of my mind and only focused on the refund or having a really reliable car. That was it. The guy calls me on Monday and says, hey, I hear you're not happy with the vehicle. And didn't even wait for me to explain or anything. Just said, hey, I heard that you're not happy with it. Come in today and I'll give you a check for the full amount that you gave us. Done. And this was like a used car lot, a really small used car lot. They didn't have to do that. They could have probably tried to get away with it or whatever. All these things you could think, right? I kept myself focusing on what I wanted, and that's what I got. This is possible in every area of our lives. But when we're so focused on the outside and what they're pushing and agendas and horrible things that they're creating in the world, because yes, they are creating it on purpose to elicit these negative emotions, we're taking away from our own focus, our own attention, our own energy, and we're giving it to things that are really not serving us. So rein in your energy, rein in your attention, rein in your focus. I'm telling you, it's a huge game changer. And the only energy you should be spending is on your own inner work and your own creation, your family, all the things that lift you up, make you feel good in this world. Because if we all live like that, guess what we create? Exactly that. We create our dream lives. We create good energy in the world. We create more connected families, therefore more connected communities. It's not a privilege. It's actually a personal responsibility that each of us have to tune out the outside, to tune on the inside, because our spirits have this. Our spirits can create anything. We can shift this entire reality by shifting where we focus. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe and like this video if it resonates so that more people can get access to this message. I'll see you in the next video.